What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to Real Reds Talk, an authentic football fan channel made in Manchester. And this is your Monday night news show. So many things to discuss and talk about. We've got transfers, which are the talk of the town at the minute with the Premier League season officially being over. There's going to be agents busier than anything you've seen in your life, rushing them out, making phone calls, seeing what clubs are interested, what people, pushing the prices up, leaking rumours through certain journalists and newspapers and all that kind of jazz. So we've got all of that to discuss. Apparently Manchester United have set a price for Jadon Sancho. I'm going to get into that. Bruno Fernandes contract talks. Again, get into the details of that. We've got more manager links coming out from France, a certain manager for Lille. Lots of transfer talk, which I've already kind of referenced. And then I want to get into as well the 26-man squad for England for the Euros. I'm going to give my take on it at least and get your take on it. What kind of football we want to see, even though Southgate is obviously not going to play that style, whatever it is. But yeah, that is going to be the main focus towards the end of the show. So make sure you stick around for that 26-man squad. It gets announced tomorrow. And as always, you can't please everyone. There's going to be a couple of upset people. There's going to be fans in the TikTok now or in the YouTube who aren't necessarily fans of United and think, you know, one of their players deserves to go. Let's say if you're a Newcastle fan, a little bit Smiley over Manu or what. I don't know. I don't know what the crack is. That's a bad example. But what I'm saying is we will go through it together and we'll have a genuine discussion, debate about who should feature in that squad. I'm not sure what time it gets announced tomorrow, actually, but it's definitely getting announced. So we shall see in due course. But we're going to kick things off with the man on the screen if you're on YouTube right now, and if you're on TikTok, to be fair, Jadon Sancho. So Manchester United have set Jadon Sancho's price to 50 million quid, which Dortmund could afford. It's been put out there through reputable journalists that the fee isn't the issue. The big stumbling block is the wages, because he's on £300,000 a week and Dortmund just simply cannot. I mean, I don't think any player is close to that currently on their wage books. So it's going to be really important with this new Ineos movement to move big players off wages who are on. You're talking like £300,000 a week. You're talking about, you know, Casemiro, Rafael Varane. I know Marcus Rashford just signed a new contract as well. Like all these guys, £300,000 a week is a lot. £1.2 million per month. So that's a big weight on a team like Dortmund, for example, who aren't the richest of clubs. You know, United want to move these wages on. And we're a global fucking, you know, financial mega beast. So, you know, Dortmund are going to struggle with that. Also, are Dortmund happy to take him? Is he happy in Dortmund to stay there? You've not heard much coming out from there, but the kind of subtle hints that you get and little bits that you read into, it seems like he wants to stay there. So it's a case of, all right, well, if you want to stay there, then are you open to take a wage cut? Because Dortmund ain't going to sign you, mate, on them kind of wages. So it's like either you stay at United, be stubborn, and, you know, push for play time, or just keep throwing your toys out the pram on the wage that you're currently on, which would be devastating for us because we've had many of them situations before where a player just sat there, Anthony Martial being a perfect example of it. He was just happy to kind of bring in a bit of an income, say he's got a bit of a muscle injury or he's fucking stubbed his toe or some ridiculous shit like that. Yeah, these players need to be moved on. If you want to be ruthless, if you want to move forward into this new era, this Ineos era, then people like Jadon Sancho, in my personal opinion, need to move on. But also depends on what manager is still at the club. If Ten Hag's still here, even more so you need to move him on. But if they bring in a more possession-based manager, let's say De Zerbi, for example, would they prefer that kind of type of player? Because the ones that we've got in the minute, the wingers, are extremely selfish. Garnacho, Rashford, Anthony all rank in like the top 100 percentile for expected assist. Like most of them have probably got, if I was to guess off the top of my head now, you could probably do the research and find this out, the exact number. They've probably got about 6 assists between them, I'd probably suggest. And there's wingers in the league who have double that just on their own. So that goes to show we need creative wingers. Jadon Sancho's a creative winger, but he's also a player who needs movement around him. He needs the full back bombing on. He needs combinational play like you see with Ahmad and Bruno at the moment. And he also needs to run the games as well to kind of get into that momentum. But on the other flip side of things, he needs to work harder off the ball. Doesn't work nowhere near as much, even though in the Champions League, you kind of saw that for Dortmund. So then it's a question of, is it the environment that he's in at Dortmund? He feels settled there. He feels appreciated, his confidence. And confidence is a massive thing in football. You've seen players go from 100% to, 0 just because they're at the wrong club. So I think it's definitely worth debating. I don't think it's as fully blown as, we're definitely going to get rid of him, need to sell him, etc., etc. But it's, we need to have this conversation. And if Dortmund offer 50 million quid right now, I'd snap your hand off for it and go use it elsewhere. Because look at Elise's release clause. I think it's around 600 million then. Around 60 million. You moved Jadon Sancho's wages, and what you're going to pay for him would cover that. Would cover everything for Elise. So it needs to be done. Get it done. What also you need to consider as well, just before we move on from Jadon Sancho, he's playing a Champions League final. Yes, it's against Real Madrid, so isn't guaranteed that he's going to win the final. But if he does win the final, again, I don't know if there's a clause in there, because I know the chief negotiator, I think it was Matt Hargreaves, is it, I think, who did the kind of Sancho loan deal. He put a clause in there that if they go further in the Champions League, then they would make a bit of money, basically. It's like 4 million quid, which, fair play to him. I wonder what happens if they win the Champions League. And they then, obviously, get extra money for winning the actual tournament in itself. So, I don't know. We'll have to wait and see with Jadon. I think the transfer window opens on the 14th of June, if I'm not wrong. So, I suppose the next 2 weeks, honestly, it's going to be like a journalist on crack. You're going to see all the maddest stories that are out there in football today. So, I'm going to get into transfers actually a little bit after this Bruno story and the managers as well, sorry. And I'll talk about them in terms of individual players and where we're at with each one and what's the latest around them kind of players like Elise and Sesko and so on. But, let's talk about Bruno Fernandes at the moment. So Bruno Fernandes would be interested in signing a new long-term contract at Manchester United. However, the club are reluctant to offer him a new lucrative deal as Ineos move to try and reduce overall spending on salaries and limit player power. Now, his deal runs out in 2026. He's on £230,000 a week. Obviously, you've seen Rashford, Casemiro and Varane all earn a third more than what he's actually on. So if you're sat there as a captain, you're looking to kind of get this new... He's going to be looking to capitalise on what will probably be his last significant contract. So United need to get this right. You need to play this one right. You can't offer him too much and say, here's 400 grand a week, Bruno, on a 5-year deal, because we could very easily find ourselves in the same position that we are with, like, Casemiro, let's say, for example, where the legs are starting to fall off. And it's like, well, these guys are on a big contract. You can't really move them on. But Bruno is the one who's in power at the moment. He's the one who's got the hold over it, really, because his deal, like I said, his deal runs out in 2026. So United need to start tying him down to something. What they'll give him, I don't know. Will we regret giving him 300k a week on, for 5 years? Also, not sure. But his preference is to settle this before joining Portugal to go in the Euros, because obviously his absolute focus is going to be on that. So, this is another one that needs dealing with sharpish. And if Ineos are all what's being spoken about and the reputation precedes them, then, they should handle this correctly, and I trust them with it, rather than fucking Murta and whoever it is to try, give them a 9-year deal to retain the value, and then you fucking struggle to sell. You know what I mean? Another man claiming to know everything. I don't know if you're alluding to me. I'm quite literally reading the news out. You spud. What are you talking about? 1k likes. Thank you very much. Appreciate that, brother. Nice one, Vincent. Good to see you in the chat. United in a really bad situation. I can't see them challenging for many years. Tell me something I don't know. Eric Ten Hag is poor. I'm not sure if you're referring to his currency or his management style, but again, open for debate. Rue's called me a spud. I'm happy to take it. Thank you for the follow. Thank you for the likes. Alicia, I see you. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. Appreciate you very much. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. We're on, let me check, 5,052 subscribers. So if you can nicely contribute towards that and help us reach 5,100, because we are on the road to 10k, that'd also be awesome. No, I'm the spud. We can both be spuds, Ruse. Don't worry about it. Sesko is a killer striker. I'm going to talk about Sesko in a moment. Don't you worry about that much. I will get onto that. So yeah, I'll leave that at that with Bruno Fernandes, because I feel like I've spoken about him so much recently. I don't want to bore you to death. Now, manager talk. Should we talk about managers? So Lucas, Romano, and Damartio have all been talking about the latest news around the new potential manager for Manchester United. So United, Chelsea, and Brighton have all expressed interest in Ipswich Town manager Kieran McKenna. He has emerged as the front runner for the Brighton job. Obviously, done a fantastic job at Ipswich Town. You know, back-to-back promotions. I think is that the first time in God knows how long, or first time. I mean, in a long, long time, decade, I believe, or 20 years. Done a really, really good job with Ipswich. Weird, in it, because obviously he was Ollie's assistant, and people at the time who claim to know everything. I'm not that guy, but people who claim to know everything and inside sources and all this kind of bollocks, saying, you know, this guy's a shit coach. Him and Carrick don't have a clue what they're doing and blah, 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 and all this nonsense. And it turns out they go to other clubs and they do really, really well, which is bizarre, isn't it? Turns out people on Twitter aren't right. Who would have known? So, yeah, whether I'd consider him personally, I wouldn't. I think, you know, he's done amazing with Ipswich. You know, have a year with Ipswich, move up to another club like, I don't know, Brighton or a Fulham or a Palace, see how he does there, and then start taking the steps up. I wouldn't. He obviously knows the club and knows the fabric of the club, but again, you should never just hire a fucking manager because of that. Take your steps. You know, that's what I would want to do anyway. Let McKenna have his Premier League season and go for him. Exactly, Joseph. Smart people think alike. You know what I'm saying? 22 years ago, there was a renegade from the Premier League, Ipswich, and now they are back. Absolutely. United should sign. I don't know who that is. Okay. Right, Romano's also put something out on Tuchel saying Tuchel's ready and waiting for the Premier League opportunity. So if the Manchester United job becomes available, it's something he will consider. Damartio also put as well, Lille manager Paulo Francesco is on the list for Man United's managerial position. He's also on Bayern Munich's list and has offers from other clubs. But let's be honest, who isn't on Bayern Munich's list? They have tried every single manager on the planet. I'm surprised they haven't gone in Burger King and asked their manager if they want to run Bayern Munich, because they've asked everyone. There isn't a manager in world football that they haven't spoken to, honestly. Ragnick, Eric Ten Hag, links with De Zerbi, Glasner, who's at Crystal Palace. They tried bringing Nagelsmann back, and he's like, piss off. Try convincing Tuchel to now stay, that we want to keep you there, like, piss off. Like, they've gone round the blocks asking managers, and it's strange how just no one wants to manage there. Very, very bizarre. Send Amrabat to Fiorentina, says Yassin. I think he will be on a one-way flight, to be honest. After the Newcastle and Arsenal game, I thought he did really well and almost played himself into the FA Cup final. But, I mean, against Brighton, he was poor. He got his pockets picked more than... I can't think of an analogy. Pockets picked more than someone wandering in London in a busy street. Yeah, shit analogy, but you take it. We need another pass first player in the 11. Bruno is our only one. Honestly, we should keep Sancho when he actually plays. He's always one of our best on the pitch. Sorry, YouTube. I'm neglecting the comments here. I've reading all the TikTok ones out, and I've not even read any of the... Sorry, I will get to your comments right now. Charlie Malman, who's a Real Red Ultra member, let me know what you think of the video we just dropped. 5 replacements for Rafael Varane. You members get it 2 days early. If you want to become a Real Red Ultra member, click the join button next to the notification bell. The link is in the description as well. You get a badge next to your name, a chance to feature on the show, and content early when we put it out, the pre-records. So let me know what you think about that. Glazer's out in the chat. Love that name. He's got to a Champions League final. If we were any other club in the world, the price would skyrocket. Why can't United ask for a fair price? I agree, Glazer's out. Some smart people in the chat today. Not had any trolls yet, but give it a minute. Sancho market value right now is 25 mil. 35 is a fair price. Wow. I want to immediate sell both players, says Lucky Singh. There's loads of comments. Make sure you smash the like on the video, by the way. Random guy saying I would prefer Tony over Sesko. To be honest, we need experience up top. No disrespect to Rasmus. Hold that thought, random guy. Hold that thought. I'm going to get into it. 50 million. Jaden is overrated as fuck. Not the right mentality to back it up. Got to prove yourself like Shabby. There's a proper clown show happening at Bayern. Glazer saying Nagelsmann and Tuchel, Marco Rose, young managers that they hoped would be better than they actually are. Klopp will become Germany boss. Who are Bayern getting for manager? Flick? I think so. I think Hansi Flick might be going back, but I don't think that's confirmed as of yet. A lot of talk around De Zerbi at the moment. I think apparently someone's played his release clause and that's why he's leaving Brighton. But again, I'm sure either the sporting director or someone high up at Bayern Munich said they're not getting De Zerbi. So I don't know where he's going. I don't know who he's going to manage, but it'd be interesting to see where he goes. If I'm a club right now who's edging on Champions League football or pushing towards it, I would absolutely want De Zerbi, 100%. And people will say, well, United are not even near the Champions League. It's different, you know. United's a different club to the majority. It's absolutely swallowed managers up before. And De Zerbi, as much as I respect him and like his style, I just don't see the fit at United personally, especially for the players that we've got as well. But people may disagree with that. He's coming United. I don't think he is. We need to sell half of our squad. Thank you for the follows, everyone. Keep hitting that follow button. Keep smashing the like. I appreciate every single one of you. Eric needs to go and a better manager brought in. Get rid of Ericsson. I mean, he'll be gone anyway. Don't worry about that. If we get Southgate, I'm changing team. Yeah, that's fair. Speaking about Southgate, England 26-man squad. I'm going to get into that. And I need you lot to interact with me. We're going to pick a 26-man... Oh, shit. We're going to pick a 26-man squad together, right? Near the end. So, join in with me. Let me know who you disagree with, what decisions I've gone with. But we're going to go into the transfer talk section at the moment. There have been updates on multiple individuals from Fabrizio Romano. So this is where we're at with each one. Elise, Ineos, 100% convinced on him. They're in talks with his entourage. Release clause around 60 million quid, but it's not as straightforward as just paying a release clause and then it's done. There's a bit of complications in it, according to David Ornstein, so we'll have to kind of iron that out and see what the crack is with it. And as alluded to before, if we can sell Jadon Sancho 50 million quid, go and do that deal for Elise, because he's a top player. He's unbelievable. Branthwaite, Everton haven't decided the price yet. I mean, they're probably going to throw something ridiculous out there, like 70 million quid. I like Branflakes. Sorry, I call him Branthwaite there. I call him Branflakes. I like Branflakes, but he's 70 million quid is a lot of money. And it just like, in my head, I instantly get like PTSD from the Harry Maguire sale. Do you know what I mean? So that is something I'd be scarce of. I'm not saying he's a similar player to Harry Maguire, by the way, but it just, yeah, it frightens me a little bit when we start paying that kind of money. And I think for that kind, I mean, you can go get Gilson Bremer from Juventus, for example, for 50 million quid, who's fucking, you know, was voted as one of the best centre-backs in Serie A when he was at Torino. He's got a release clause in there. He's looking for a move to the Premier League. There are deals in Europe that you can do. You know, you don't have to get Branflakes, but Ineos are a massive fan of him. So, yeah. Ivan Toney, internal discussions are going on. United may consider it if they get him for the right price. That's a fascinating one because there is two sides to this and people are already kind of going at it in the chat as well. Sesko or Toney? There's the question I'm going to put to you lot. Sesko or Toney, which one would you go for and why? Toney, Premier League proven, a little bit older. I'll say a little bit older. He's like 27, 28. Shown he can do it before. Kind of great interlink play. Great with his back to goal. Almost the opposite to Højlund in that sense. Cool, calm, collected. And I'm not sure what Brentford are asking for in price-wise. Obviously, if it's getting 80 million, 100 million quid, then it's United aren't going to be able to afford it. But if you can get him, pick him up for 50 million, 40 million... might be worth a conversation. João Neves is another one United are looking at, but way too expensive. Never going to happen for the price that Benfica are currently wanting at the moment. And then you have Sesko. So Leipzig have made contacts with Benjamin Sesko's agent in recent days to offer a new lucrative contract. Several clubs want Sesko this summer, especially from the Premier League. Leipzig offer a new deal and key player project to stay for one more year to obviously kind of retain that value and skyrocket it up as well, because they're kind of looking at his trajectory and they're like, this kid can, you know, he'll grow in value if it continues doing what he's doing. I'm a big fan of him. I've said this for a while. Anyone who's watched the channel, I've been talking about Sesko for about 3 years now. Really like him. He's a similar profile to Højlund, but I think he's much more technically gifted. He's better on both feet. So yeah, if I don't know, maybe some people want a striker that's a little bit of a different style, you know, but maybe a bit more of a target man. You know, could play with his back to goal a lot better, just to offer something different. But again, I've seen a lot of people like Sesko, man. A lot of people talking about him, which I think I'm all for it. Euro over Branthwaite. We don't do well with English players. Our English players are pants compared to City's and Arsenal's. The video we dropped today, the 5 replacements for Varane, gets all into that in-depth analysis. Really good video, if I do say so myself. Rio does not think Erik ten Hag will continue at United next season. I'm fine with him staying after the 2 last wins. Rio also said that Qatar had won the race for Man United, so I won't believe everything Rio Ferdinand says. Todibo is certain to replace Varane with Ratcliffe's links. Hope he doesn't have Poppadom legs like Varane. No, I think his injury record's okay from what I've seen. Earlier on, it was a little bit sceptical. I think he had either an accident or he did something. I can't remember what I literally did, like, I was reading up about him the other day for the video that I did. And he had something like an operation or an accident that messed with his legs or something. But I think he's all right at the moment. We've already got Højlund. We don't need another striker who isn't EPL proven. But they could push each other in that sense. Competition breeds success in it. The argument that you could throw out there as well. Okay, right. Should we get into this? England, before I do this, let me just quickly... Because I do not want my phone to die while you lovely people are live with me right now. Oh, shit. There we go. We're back. Sorry, a little bit laggy there. Just put my phone on charge. All right, okay, should we get into it? I'm going to need everyone in the chat right now who's in YouTube or in TikTok to go through this squad with me and let me know if you disagree or not. So England's squad is getting announced tomorrow. 26-man squad. Who would you have in it? So we're going to go through goalkeepers. I'm going to go through it quickly. Pickford, Ramsdale, Pope. If Pope, I don't know what Pope's fitness is like at the minute, if he's come back from it. I would take them three as your... That's a good selection of keepers there. Come a long way from fucking Sam Johnston and co. Your right backs, Kyle Walker and Trent, best performing right backs in the league, in my opinion. Reece James, if he could stay fit for a full season, I would definitely consider him because I think he's the overall package. Centre backs, I would go with John Stones, Harry Maguire, Bran Flakes, and Joe Gomez, utility player as well. Gomez can cover it in multiple positions. Left backs, Luke Shaw, if fit and available. If not, go for a Livramento or Rico Lewis. Take a chance on one of them guys. I think they're both top quality. And then Chilwell will kind of be the deputy in that position. Midfield's the big talking point, but I would go Declan Rice, Bellingham, Palmer, Gallagher, Mainu, and Maddison. And then, you know, if you want to change a Gallagher or someone like that, maybe a Ward-Prowse, Dewsbury Hall, or Southgate's probably going to take Henderson in it, but I wouldn't. He'll take Henderson for his experience, I guarantee you. And then the front line, Harry Kane, Saka, Foden, Watkins, because he offers something different as well, Anthony Gordon. Marcus Rashford will probably go, but based on the season and how they're performing, Eze, I mean, he's killing it at the minute. And then Grealish will probably go as well. But we also have some special mentions in there. Adam Wharton, James Trafford, Harvey Elliott, all done fantastically well. So that's the squad that I would personally take. But let me know if there's any that I've missed out, any ones who you would consider, any shouts whatsoever. Let's get into it, and I'll read them out. And as you're kind of putting them in there, I'd let you know how I would start the first game, let's say, for example. So, Pickford in net, Walker, Stones, Maguire, Shaw at left back. Again, if he's fit and available and raring to go. Rice, Mainu, and Bellingham has to be the midfield three. I wouldn't play Foden, Bellingham, and Rice as the three in there because I think that's too attacking and too advancing in international tournament. I'd want a bit more balance, so I would go with Rice and Mainu, who can kind of both rotate in them areas because they're both good as eights as well. And then you have Bellingham as like the 10 who's really pushing on and kind of crash the box and rotate with Harry Kane when he drops deep. I would have Foden on the left side and I would have Saka on the right-hand side for me personally. Foden and Bellingham and Rice, Kane, Saka, all had to start 100%. And I think when you go back to when Kobbie Mainoo first made his international debut, he showed within minutes why he should be playing ahead of Conor Gallagher. Conor Gallagher, I don't know who that is. Conor Gallagher was stinking up the place for around, 60 minutes, I think it was. It was a shit performance until Kobbie Mainoo came in. 20 minutes, instantly, composure, calmness. Just... England don't produce these kind of players. You know what I'm saying? We really, really don't. So that is the team that I would go with 100%. Style-wise, have patience with the ball, carve teams open. Like I said before, Mainu and Rice rotating, Bellingham crashing the box, Kane dropping deep, Foden freedom to move around the front line. You got your wing-backs, Shaw, for example, dropping into midfield. Still have your top qualities about you, like England are usually decent offset pieces. Keep them same values, but be a bit more progressive in your approach. That is what I would say. Dermo saying not here for the England talk. That's fine. Don't have to stay. Do not have to stay, mate. Don't worry about that. Foden on the left, Saka right, says Glazers out. Foden over Rashford. Yeah, agree. I mean, I'm a United fan, but you'd be stupid to say Foden, just player of the season. And Rashford just has no form currently at the minute, although he'll probably turn up for the FA Cup final. It wouldn't surprise me in the slightest. We need to get rid of Anthony, Maguire, Mount before it's too late. They're not going to sell Mount. Definitely not going to sell Mount. No chance. Not after the first season. I think he deserves an opportunity. Look, if we go into the next season and he has the same problems again, then we need to have a conversation, because that's something you can't rely on, and you spent 60 million quid on him and he's on 200 grand a week. Or 250 grand a week, I think it is. So, yeah. Then I'll have a discussion, but I'm not selling Mount right now. I think that would be fucking stupid in my opinion. Yeah, let me know what you think about that 11. I mean, when he gets picked tomorrow, like I said, there's always going to be someone unhappy about a certain player not getting picked, especially when Southgate's doing it, because he always picks favourites, doesn't he? But yeah, I'm just looking at this Rio Ferdinand quote on Eric Ten Hag that's coming in from the show we did on 5. The more and more I think about it, win or lose, I don't think Ten Hag will be there come next season. I'm not saying that's what I want. I'm just saying what I believe is going to happen. And I believe what the club are going to look elsewhere. I don't think winning an FA Cup changes anything in the eyes of Ineos. I've not spoken to anyone there. This is just an assumption. This is what I think. Yeah, but like I said, Rio said this about Qatar, and everyone lost his shit, and then nothing happened. So, yeah. Look, obviously he has an opinion. He's a very popular figure. Top quality centre-back for United, but doesn't mean everything he says is gospel, does it? If Bruno wanted 300 grand a week, would you give him the contract considering he's 29? Fantastic question, user 986546775. Oh, God, it's hard. It's hard. What's the length of the contract? He's 30 now, isn't he? I think. I wouldn't give him a 5-year deal. I wouldn't give him a 5-year deal just because 2 reasons for that. One, we've been stung with that before in the past, like I alluded to before, with many, many players. And 2, the way Bruno plays, how many minutes he's accumulated in his whole career, I have a feeling at some point it's going to catch up with him, and he's not going to be able to play at the same intensity that he does every single game. It's going to hit him. It's going to catch up with him at some point. And at that point, I think we may turn around and go, probably shouldn't have offered him a 5-year deal. So if we could offer him a 3-year with maybe an extra one or something, then I would. But then at the same time, when you do that to a player, it's like, oh, do you not have enough faith in me to give me 5 years? Like, I'm looking for a deal that I want for 5 years. So that's where it makes it difficult, and you need to be careful with it. Can you update me about Greenwood? Ineos probably going to sell him. Someone in Italy or Spain, 40, 50 million quid. I think the Sesko rumours are BS. Why would they sign another young striker? Because we don't have any. You can have 2 young strikers and compete, push them against each other. City do it. They have Alvarez and Haaland, both like 19, 20, 21. Loads of teams do it. I think that Thomas Tuchel's already in place. That's why he's not taking the Bayern Munich job again. I don't know who it is. If there is genuine leaks out there and a plan that's happening, they are keeping that shit watertight. Because if it was under the previous regime, we would probably already know who it is by now, because we leaked like a sieve. So if someone has agreed to become the next manager, my God, they've managed to keep that tight-lipped, because everyone would be on that usually. So fair play to them if they have. But yeah, I don't think that they would have. I mean, they would have reached out to a couple managers or just have a contingency plan, because all clubs do. But I think you'll start to see real movement after the FA Cup final, regardless of whatever it is that happens. Watkins rumour, no chance United ain't signing Watkins. Why? With all due respect, why would he? It just reached Champions League with Aston Villa. They've got a great coach and a great future there. He's taking a big risk moving to United, in my opinion. They've managed to keep the manager talk really secretive. I think after the final, it's going to be out. The manager don't need changing. It's the squad that's crap. Another manager to go. Do you think United will go for Elise? Yeah, I think we're in talks with Elise's entourage. And it wouldn't surprise me if we did a quick deal at the start of the summer, especially if we sold someone like a Jadon Sancho. But I also don't think it's a priority position either, just to throw my 2 pence in there. So, yeah. We're currently on 5,053 subscribers. So if there's anyone in the TikTok who is feeling in a good mood, please do hit that subscribe button on Real Reds Talk. The link is in the description. We get the following and the community is getting bigger and bigger on TikTok and YouTube, and I appreciate every single one of you. I really, really do, and I mean that. So thank you very much. We're on the road to 10K, and you legends are helping us do it. And, you know, sometimes people watch content. They can't be arsed subscribing or liking a video or doing whatever, and that's absolutely fine as well. But, yeah, just thought I'd throw it out there. Vincent saying, yeah, going for a play earlier and signing on deadline day. That's how crap we are with the signing. Terry Monaghan dropping us a follow. Appreciate that, brother. We're close to 30K on TikTok as well. We're close to, I think we've just gone past 3K on Instagram. Getting close to 2K on Twitter. So all the socials are at the top if you're on YouTube. Real Reds Talk on Twitter. Real Reds Talk on TikTok, where I am right now. And then Instagram as well. Go drop us a follow on that. Say hello. We message people, speak to you. Put reels out, news stories every single day, like 3 times a day. And we do 2 shows a day on YouTube as well. So, yeah, we're trying to grow this thing and trying to get it mega. Dropping members videos, pre-records, live post-match analysis, all the good stuff, basically. And over the summer as well, we've had James from the Muppeteers, who's been on a good few times. When it comes to Ineos and transfer rumours and everything that's ongoing, he is, like, top tier. So you can bet your fucking dollar, I'm not American, you can bet your pound that we're going to have him on a good few times during the summer and really pick his brains about how Ineos are operating and what type of players we're going for and etc. You catch the drift. Juventus and AC Milan are looking for managers. De Zerbi either going there. Yeah, it could be Barcelona as well. I don't know what's going on with Xavi. I don't have a clue what's going on with that. What's going on? United need Ten Hag discipline. A new manager could take the piss. Look at Ragnick. Sesko is mint. I agree with you. One club has released an official statement about Altay Bayındır denying rumours that he wants to move. Yeah. That is everything covered, I believe. So that is your Monday night news show. Bish bash bosh. Do drop us a follow. Do hit the subscribe button, and I will check you guys out in the next one.